60 seconds. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Let's Talk Magic, and welcome once again to our show. It's an early morning episode that we're going to be having right now. First of all, for those who are watching, thank you very much. And don't forget to please share the stream. And of course, don't forget to like our official Facebook page, Chubster Flores Productions. And of course, all past episodes can be viewed upon our official YouTube channel, Chubster Flores Productions. As early as now, I'd like to thank Mr. Robert Larue and of course, Mr. Frank Tuglas for joining us and for watching us for today's broadcast. I know medyo nakakapanibago because last week I have a 2 p.m. broadcast. Today we'll be having a 11 o'clock in the morning broadcast. Well, first of all, my name is Chubster and welcome back. It's episode number 26, if I'm not mistaken. So for those who tuned since, for those who joined us since the very first episode until now, again, thank you. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for supporting. As you may all know, this all started since the pandemic. I don't have anything to do, so that's why I opted to do something good for the Magic community, that is, with this so-called Let's Talk Magic. And of course, for all of my past 25 guests, again, thank you very much for spending your time and talent with us or sharing your time and talents with us. It's very much appreciated, all of you guys, and thank you very much once again. Okay, Nico Aguas, good morning. Yes, good morning, everyone. By the way, again, Mr. Robert Larue is watching all the way from Angeles City in Pampanga. Frank Tuglas is watching all the way from the US. Frank, good morning. I mean, I don't know if good morning here or good evening there, back there. I forgot which state you're in right now. And of course, to Nico, he's a Filipino. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, before we go, I would like to, how should I say this? I would like to say apologize because before I started the broadcast, I'm having intermittent internet connection. So that's why you might see me sometimes freezing a bit or delayed a bit. But anyway, as for me and my guests, there won't be any problems because of this platform that I'm using right now, which is StreamYard. Carl Kion. Hey, Carl. Good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Let's Talk Magic. Of course, Tony Tons. Again, Tony, thank you very much. Before we begin and before we continue, I'd like to, wait a minute, I'm lost over here. Okay, let me wear my binoculars right now. I need to read this one. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, my good friend, I would like to promote the following shows from some of my good friends. First of all, we have the Puppet Stories with Nicolo. This is happening every Monday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. on the Facebook page, The New Channel. Okay, right now I'm having internet connection. And their guest for this coming episode will be Alexis Kowa and Corinne Linsim from Kaith Ateneo. So that broadcast time will be 5:30 p.m. That's a Monday. The Puppet Stories with Nicolo. Please don't forget to join Nicolo the Puppet, the new channel, 5:30 p.m. this coming Monday. Our good friends from the Magicians Foundation Incorporated will be having their annual, or the first ever, what we call annual magic convention online edition. Yeah, it's an online edition happening on, wait, is there a date? Okay, November 8 to 10, 2021. This will be happening via Zoom. For those interested parties, you may get in touch with the contact over here. Yeah, it's Alan Soriano and RJ Clemente. The numbers are over there. Or if you want, you can get in touch with the MadFi Facebook page. And this is brought to you by, of course, the sponsor at the bottom. It will feature magic lectures. We'll be having magic auctions, magic selling, magic competitions, and many, many more. For those who'd like to come and attend the 3-day convention, take note, it's a 3-day convention. The convention fee or the registration fee for those 3 days is only 1,000 pesos. So please, if you have time, November 8, 9, and 10, I don't know what day will that fall onto, but anyway, you can take a look at your calendars about that. And of course, regarding the, how should I say this? Regarding the lecturers, okay, we have Master Dem. We have Mr. Juyong Lee, JL Magic Korea, lecturing. Mr. Ron Mariano. Mr. Audie Santo Domingo, the Laser Man of Philippine Magic, JB De La Cruz, and of course, yours truly, I'll be also lecturing. We'll be featuring virtual magic. So please join us again. The schedule will be shown as the days go by. Yeah, you know what I mean. And of course, this will also feature, okay, our online magic dealers will be DV Magic Shop, our local dealers. We have, of course, JL Magic from Korea. We have Runit decks for those special decks that you want to own. Runit is the one. We have Magnifico Crafts. And of course, some members of the Magicians Foundation Incorporated will be having their very own dealer's booth. By the way, the Magicians Foundation Incorporated is IBM Ring 322. Okay. Also, Inner Magic Club or INC is now opening its doors to those who would like to apply for membership via online. This is now, of course, the door is now open for the Inner Magic Club. So once again, this is IBM Ring 328. For more information, you may get in touch with Vice President, Mr. James Cuevas. The number is written on the screen. So once again, Inner Magic Club is now accepting online membership. So you can get in touch with James as to how the process will be and how many meetings you need to attend and regarding the exams. And I do believe you need 2 sponsors for you to apply for membership. So with that, again, to all of you guys. And oh, by the way, I failed to mention the boss of Philippine Magic, Mr. Rani Raimundo, the close-up guy, will be having his, I don't know why he's calling it his farewell. No, it's not actually a farewell lecture. It's what he called my last lecture, but I told him to change the title. Why my last lecture? So anyway, that will be happening sometime in September, late September. So it's, I think, he'll be lecturing all new materials from his treasure box. So please get in touch with me, Chubster, or you can get in touch with the man himself, Rani Raimundo, to know more about this lecture date. And of course, lecture registration fee will also be 1,000 pesos. So guys, please do watch out for that. The Rani Raimundo lecture coming sometime September. I'll be keeping you posted from time to time, and for my next episode, for sure, we'll be having the poster for that lecture. In the meantime, before we go to our special guest, I do a lot of talking right now. I would like to say thank you to some of my friends for helping me out in making this show possible. Here we go. Philippine Magic Scene. For the latest news and updates on Philippine Magic, you can visit their Facebook page, Philippine Magic Scene, and don't forget to like the page. Philippine Magic Scene. Lasco Home Securities and Automation. We make high-quality automation affordable for every Filipino. Lasco is only available at Lazada. Check out their Lazada sale, Lasco Home Securities and Automation. For the best Mami Siopaw combo in the whole of Metro Manila, we have Mamulok Restaurant. They are available via your favorite delivery app since it's locked down here in Manila, so you're only allowed to have them delivered to your doorstep. Mamulok Restaurant. Prestidigitators, the movers of Philippine magic. Of course, you may visit their Facebook page, The Prestidigitators, or www.theprestidigitators.com, the movers of Philippine magic, One World Alliance. And finally, DD Magic Shop, serving the needs of professional magicians and hobbyists. You can visit their Lazada and Shopee pages. So for the latest in magic, DD Magic Shop. Okay, so once again, guys, please bear with me. As you may notice, I am freezing a bit. That's what I can see on the screen, but over here, it's not. We are having intermittent connection. I don't know what's been happening for the past few episodes. But anyway, again, good afternoon, good morning to Kuya Tony or Tony. Good morning again to Carl Kion. Maraming salamat for joining us. Good morning once again to Mr. Nico Aguas. And of course, Mr. Robert Dario Mayap Abak, I think that's good morning in Kapampangan. Again, Frank Douglas, thank you very much. And of course, we have another visitor watching all the way from Hawaii, Mr. Glenn Bailey. Glenn, good morning. I don't know if it's good morning or good evening in Hawaii right now. Anyway, guys, well, enough with the talk. I'm too talkative, they say. But anyway, if you have any questions that you want to ask from our guest, whom I'm about to introduce in a few seconds from now, please feel free to type it in at the comment box. So again, thank you very much. Don't forget to share the stream and don't forget to like our official Facebook page, Chubster Flores Productions. Again, don't forget to like the page, Chubster Flores Productions. And of course, over here, YouTube channel, Chubster Flores Productions. Okie dokie. Okay. Now it's time for me to introduce to you my special guest for this morning's broadcast. Okay. He is known in the kid show business or in the magic fraternity as a Silly Billy. He is a very successful kid show and family entertainer from New York. So guys, it's a great honor for me to have him as one of my special guests for today's episode. So please, give this guy a very warm virtual welcome. Put your hands in the air for the main man himself, David Kaye, or Silly Billy. Good morning, David, and welcome to Let's Talk Magic.
Morning. It's 11 o'clock at night here.
Oh, sorry. Good evening.
Which is absolutely fine with me. I'm fine. I do want to apologize for my coating of sweat. It's very hot on the East Coast this week. We've had a big heat wave, and I'm sorry. I apologize. Just because I'm
let's try turning on your fan in a while. But anyway, by the way, we have Bern Mariano watching all the way from Hong Kong. Bern, thank you very much for supporting.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I know him.
Yeah, of course. He's a good friend of mine, and he also is a frequent Manila visitor. I know he's very... Bern is, I think if you have any new products out there, he'll be the first one to buy it.
Yes, he's a good customer. That's correct.
Okay. Again, Bern, thank you very much. And thank you very much for supporting Let's Talk Magic. To RJ Guimenta, thank you very much for watching. So first of all, can you try turning on your fan for a while? Let's see what's going to happen if it's okay.
Okay, you tell me.
Yes, no problem.
Maybe I could put my hand over the mic area. How does that sound?
Sorry, but it's not that. Is it down? Is it down the floor?
It's on the floor. That's okay. I don't mind. I will work through it. I'm a professional.
Anyway, I'm very, very sorry for doing this. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, let's go down to business. First of all, how are you doing, sir? And how's the party business back in the U.S. now? Well, first of all, here in Manila, we're still at hard lockdown for 2 more weeks, I think. So in my case, for the past going to 18 months, I haven't had any face-to-face program. I only do a handful of virtual parties. So how about in your case, sir? How are you guys doing back there in the U.S.?
Well, in the U.S., there are many different areas have different levels of lockdown. Although I would say in the United States right now, no one is locked down because everyone, as is everyone all over the world, everyone in the States is tired of being locked down, and there were some parts of the country where people like to protest, and so anyway, there's no lockdown. There are some states in which the Delta variant is causing a lot of damage and a lot of sick people. But luckily for me, New York is not one of those places. And as soon as the good weather started at the end of March of this year and the beginning of April of this year,
Mhm.
I've been working like crazy. Thank God. Every party is held outdoors in the park because no one wants to have an indoor party, because
Yes.
it's more dangerous. So every party is outside, um, but it's been absolutely crazy. Thankfully for me, April, May, and June, and now July, very very strong. So I'm very happy about that.
Well,
So
that's good news and nice to hear that. Now,
yeah,
sorry for this one. First of all, for those who are watching, again, I apologize. I'm having intermittent the internet connection. Well, you can only see my screen freezing, but David's screen will be okay. So don't mind my screen. It's our special guest who we should be giving homage right now.
thank
By the way,
homage. Yes,
Mr.
yes,
David K, sorry if I'm always looking at this way because my monitor's over here, so that's why I can see all the
that's
comments.
fine.
Like this first comment from Mr. Glenn Bailey. I use your Princess and Frog effect every show. What inspired you to create it? Okay, that's one. Our first question is coming from Mr. Glenn Bailey from Hawaii. What inspired you to create the Princess and Frog effect? That's the silk. That's the one with the huge
Yeah,
silks.
yeah. It's called Princess in a Pickle.
Okay.
uh, and it comes with 5 silks. 4 of them are what are called headless silks, which is means on the picture of the silk is the picture of a body, and then the child holds the silk under his chin, and his head completes the image of the body.
Mhm.
And it's a story about a princess
Here.
who has to decide who to marry. And she has 3 choices: a guy in the dungeon, a dragon, or a frog. And it uses 4 kids from the audience. It's like a 7-minute routine, and it's full of jokes. And the story of how I came up with it is actually a good story because I see the marketplace of children's magic, and there are very few tricks um, for, let's say, girl audiences or audiences that are mostly girls or all girls. Um, there are a lot of boy themes like dinosaur. Even there aren't even a lot of dinosaurs. But the point is, there's very few tricks for girls. So I thought I'd come up with a trick for girls, and I came up with this idea of a princess having to marry, uh, having to choose who to marry. But I created the silks, and prototypes. I performed it, a few dozen times, and before I knew it, I no longer had a sweet, girly routine. I had transformed this sweet, girly routine into a very silly Billy routine with lots of jokes and lots of laughing and lots of silliness. So my goal was to create a trick for girls that was sort of romantic and frilly. And instead, I came up with a trick that's very much like Silly Billy, very silly, very funny, full of jokes and stuff like that. But it's a great trick, and the theme of the princess meeting a frog and the
Mhm.
frog changing into a prince is universal, which I wasn't even aware of when I came up with this. But people are performing this trick all over the world in all kinds of countries, because the idea of the princess meeting the frog and getting married to a prince is every culture has that story. So that's a good trick. That's a good
And
story. I hope you like it.
from what I know, there is an add-on that you can buy the bag, right? It's an optional add-on, the bag wherein you can put everything, and it's like
Yes,
you're getting holding hands already. One big
Yes,
production film?
the climax of the ending of the routine was originally the frog picture goes in a change bag, the princess picture goes in the change bag, and then we say the magic words. The kids blow a kiss into the bag, and out from the bag comes this really big 42-inch silk, which is like bigger than a meter. Um, and and it's a picture of the prince and the princess, and in the picture they're holding hands, like you say. And then as an add-on, I've created something called it's actually, people think of it as a blendo, but it's actually called bag to silk. So it's a bag. You put the two silks in, and then you give it just a quick shake, and this bag that's really only about 12 inches square turns into this giant 42-inch silk, and then we put that under the kids' heads. It's a great ending for this trick, and it's just fantastic. It's a great stage trick.
And I think the running time for the entire routine is maybe around 7 to 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It can take. I don't time mine, but I have it on video, and it's about 7 or 8 minutes on video, and it's just really it's so much fun to perform. Mostly because because you don't do anything. You're basically telling a story. There's no magic. I mean, there's no sleight of hand. There's nothing that's going to break because it's just fabric. But so I do love when I'm in the middle of my show and I feel like I've been working really hard and I need a break. I do Princess in a Pickle, and then because I'm just talking and there's so much laughing, I'm pausing a lot during the routine, so that's kind of fun too. So it's a good break for me during my show. It's not a very difficult trick. It doesn't require a lot of energy to perform with it and to kill with it, really.
By the way, for those who are wondering what Princess, it's the title again, Princess and the Pickle. I'm sorry. What's the title again?
Princess in a Pickle. You know what in a pickle means? In a pickle, it means you're in trouble. You have a difficult situation.
Oh. So, guys,
Princess in a Pickle.
About Princess in a Pickle, you can visit Silly Billy's website at, of course, www.sillymagic.com. And aside from that, he's got a lot of magic products out there, from specialty magic wands. He's got 2 books out in the market, which we'll be talking about later on, and a whole lot more. So once again, guys, don't forget sillymagic.com. Maybe, but you can check it after the show. You have to watch the entire show first. Okay.
Yes, please.
But if you're too excited to
you gotta have it.
Yeah. So, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, what happened? Okay. First of all, my question is, what got you started into magic?
Well, the origin story is I was 6 years old, and my father took me to a children's magic show. I sat, and the key for this whole experience was I sat in the front row. The magician started the show by running down the aisle from the back of the house. He ran across the front row. He grabbed my hand and he brought me up on stage. So I was on stage for a lot of this guy's show, and I was very young. But what amazed me the most was I could see how the tricks were done, because I was there on stage. But I also could see, because I was looking in the audience, at how powerful the children were reacting, how much the kids were reacting. I was a kid too, but I was watching the audience react in very big ways to these tricks that I could see the methods on, all around me. And so that had a really big impact on me. And then when I turned 8, I got, of course, a magic set for Christmas. And when I was 12, I started going. I lived in Queens, which is part of New York City. And I used to take the subway every Saturday from my house into Manhattan to Tannen's.
Oh.
Yeah. and on Saturdays at Tannins, first of all, it seemed like all the famous magicians were there. And it was just, everyone would hang out at Tannins on Saturdays. So I would go and I meet all these famous guys. And then when the store closed, all the magicians went to this restaurant and they sort of took over the place. And I did this for 3 years, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So about 4 years. I used to go every Saturday to the city, to Tannins, and it was like the greatest magic school ever. And
you're very lucky to be living near Tannins and just maybe
yeah.
take the subway or something, just go there or what?
Yeah. It was unbelievable. I met Harry Lorraine, Slidini, Amazing Randy used to show up, Derek Dingle, Darwin Ortiz. These were some of David Roth. These were all the big guys that were there. Roth was young,
was Tannen owned by Tony Spina? No.
Yeah. Oh, it started as Louis Tannen. Then he sold it to his brother Irving Tannen, and Irv brought on Tony Spina, and then Irv sold it to Tony completely. I'll keep talking. I see he's gone.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's terrific. And you are a very adorable tiger. I just want to mention.
Hold on, I don't know what's happening. I told you I'm having connection problem.
No, that's okay. What is that a picture of? It looks like a tiger. Oh, it's Garfield, I think.
And actually, I'm using an eCam. I'm using another app for the camera.
Okay, that's fine. Ask me questions and I'll talk and I'll tell you the answers. So anyway, it was really cool. The other young people who were there were Joe Monte was one of the kids when I was there. Richard Kaufman, Charles Green was one of the kids that was hanging around there.
Okay.
It was a great time of my life, and I was doing cards and coins. I was doing close-up magic back then, and that's how it all started.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it sounds like you're yelling from the back of the room.
Sorry, I'm trying to. I'm very, very sorry, guys. For those who are watching again, please sorry, and of course, I'm very sorry to our guests for this. I don't know what this is.
No, that's fine. Ask me a question, and I'll answer it while you work the tech.
Well, since you've mentioned my other question is who were your magical influences? So I guess that answers it because you were with the company of David Roth, with the other big guys. Now, my other question is, if you're not a magician today, what will be your day job or night job, something like that?
If I wasn't a magician,
yes.
You know what? I had one job in my life, and it was right out of college in marketing. And so I loved marketing and advertising. Of course, advertising is very similar to magic in that you use language to manipulate people or to persuade people. In the case of advertising, it's persuading, and in magic, it's manipulation to manipulate their thoughts and their memories of things. There you go. Nice to see you back. Good. Oh, you took your mic off.
Yeah, I need to. Okay, I just put my mic over here, so it's easy.
So yes, I would do marketing. I would probably do some kind of advertising or marketing. I like that stuff.
Okay, very good. Okay, let me just go back to some of the comments over here. Hold on.
That's fine.
A while back, since you were talking about the Princess and the Frog, again, comments coming from Glenn Bailey. Great story is still used, the original, so I can switch the first time with a boy as a princess and the girl as a prince. Another comment coming from Bernard Mariano. Your show depends. Your show depends so much on physical comedy with the kids. Has it been able to transfer effectively to virtual shows?
Well, that's a good question. That is, of course, the first lesson of virtual shows is. Well, my first virtual show and the first few, I was just putting a camera on me doing my regular act. And then I learned, of course, that that's not the right way to do a virtual show, that a virtual show requires specific routines, specific tricks for the medium. And so I eventually, over time, over all of last year, I evolved and I came up with what I think is a pretty good virtual show. Of course, let's see, there are some. So Bernard was asking about physical comedy. And yeah, it's hard to do physical comedy alone. And it's hard to do it in a screen that's small like this. So what I did was I used something called a tipple topple wand, and this was my warm up in my virtual show. It's a wand, and the white piece at the front sags. Then you screw it back on, and then I don't have it where I am sitting at the moment. I'm sorry. You screw on one tip, and then the back tip falls off, and you screw that on, and the front tip falls off, and you can keep making it the front tip and the back tip sort of sag.
Falling off.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I started my virtual shows with that because it's visual, it's physical comedy, it fits in the frame, right? Because that it has to be, and I held it very close to my face like this. But yeah, obviously, I'm thinking of the other tricks in the show. He's right. There wasn't a lot of physical comedy in the virtual show. It's hard to do by yourself, and it's hard to do in a small space like this. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, first of all, you are watching again. Let's talk episode number 26. My name is Chubster. Thank you very much for watching, and please, I do apologize for the problem that we're encountering right now. First, I'm having intermittent connection. Now, suddenly, my feed went out. But again, I'm very thankful that our guest is very understandable about that. Now,
Of course.
first of all, Mr. David Kaye, we'll just take a break first. You have to refresh for a while. I know that I'm going to show them a video, but before we go back to the other questions over here, can you tell us about this video that I'm about to show them? I think the title is The Bread Trick.
Okay.
Can I show it to them first or what?
No. Let's talk. I'll talk about it a little. I can relate it back to the question that was asked. In this routine, which I call the bread trick, you'll see it's very simple. Actually, let me think of what I want to share about it before we see it. It's a very, very simple trick. The best kid show tricks are plots that are very simple, and this has a very simple plot. I came up with this idea. It wasn't brilliant to come up with it, but I've been doing it for 20 years, and it's just fantastic. And you'll see me working with a kid. We do the trick, but before the trick, I'm doing a lot of stuff with my magic wands. With all the wands that you are about to see, I invented. I sell on my website, and I use them in every show. So you'll get a very good taste of the silly Billy style of the show, of my performing style from this clip.
By the way, before we show it to them, again, something went wrong with my monitor a while back. I think my feed, both of our video went out, but again, I'm sorry. Guys, I'll show you the video again. This is from Silly Billy, The Bread Trick. Watch it out, and here we go. Hold on, let me just put you guys.
Now we're going to do the trick. I have a red handkerchief, and the bag has a zipper. Stick your hand in the bag and show everyone. Oh, hello. Thanks for coming. Glad you could make it. Okay, now we're going to do a trick. Let go of my. You're very strong. Okay, here's the trick. I'm going to take red, I'm going to change it to white, and then Alexa changes it back to red. Okay? Here we go. Red goes in. Say the magic words. Googly, googly. And now I say red, change to white. All right, there's white. Good. The bag is empty. Alexa, it's your turn. Hold this up in the air. Look at the audience and say, ladies and gentlemen, I am Alexa the magician. I am holding white. I place it in the empty bag. Okay. Say the magic words, googly, googly. Googly, googly. And now you say white, change to red. Say it loud. All right, take it out. White change to red. Isn't that wonderful? White change to red. Isn't that great? Ah! I said change to red. You change it to bread. Very funny. Hold this. Let me get the magic wand. I have this little magic wand. This magic wand here. This is a little one. Now it's a big one. Are you ready, Alexa? She's not going to eat it. She has to do magic with it. Put the bread in the bag. Hold the magic wand. Two hands, two hands. Okay, here she goes. Googly, googly. Googly, googly. Oh. Excuse me. Googly, googly. Oh! Ow! Googly, googly. Oh! Say googly, googly. All right. Reach in. It changed to red. Everyone clap for Alexa.
And there you go.
That was the started in the middle of the clip. Normally, there's a couple of other magic wands that start before we go into the trick with the change bag. So that's what I was mentioning. We didn't get to see that, but anyway, you see this trick. Very simple. Go and make one yourself. Get a change bag. Get a red silk. Get a white silk. And a piece of fake foam piece of bread. And if you perform in a language other than English, find a color that rhymes with a funny object, and you can do the same trick, but in your language with your local. So I'm just saying that since you, Chubster, you have an international viewing audience. So I say that I when I lectured in Spain, I told people to use a red silk, which is rojo, and
rojo.
Yeah, and a rubber eyeball, which is ojo. So the joke is, you said, I said change to red, you changed it to eyeball. So anyway. Any language, this works, and you see, it's very, very funny. When the magician fails in his tricks, the kids think that's the funniest thing in the world. So this is a failure, and that's what makes it so funny to kids.
By the way, the magic one, the inflatable one that you just saw, again, it's also available at citymagic.com. I think it's per pack of 10, per bag of 10. So
yes,
again,
it
guys,
is. Very good. Thank you.
And I've been using it for the longest time.
Oh, fantastic.
And, remember, I ordered, I think, almost 200 pieces before back. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I don't remember.
Check your email.
Sorry.
I'm just joking. No problem. Okay. Another comment coming from. Wait a minute. Let me just check it out. Wait. comments. Okay, here we go. Okay, hold on. Before we go to the silver scepter thing.
Sorry.
The peekaboo rabbit trick is strong, and that's coming from Mr. Glenn Bailey, and of course. Silver scepter coming from
Oh,
Bern or Bernard, and yes, thanks for your insights. Now, a question coming from Mr. Douglas is, what's the size and congestion in New York City? What are the logistics of carting your shoe equipment to the
Joe,
venue?
that's a good question. It's interesting because New York is unlike really almost any other city in the world, unlike any other place in the world, maybe Hong Kong, maybe London. But so I do not own a car. I've never owned a
Mhm.
car. I go to my shows by taxi or by the subway, the underground. Um, and because of that, I have my stuff in a large uh, suitcase, a large not it's not a large suitcase, it's a large carry-on size suitcase, and I can only carry I only get to perform what fits in the suitcase because the
Mhm.
suitcase has to fit in the trunk of the taxi. Also, I can't be carrying crazy amounts of stuff on the subway. So yeah, so unfortunately, it has to everything I perform has to fit in this suitcase. So I can't do a chair suspension. I can't do anything with animals. I obviously I
Yes.
you can't carry animals on the subway, and I can't. I don't want to mess with. I can't bring it in a taxi either. So so yeah, so I'm pretty limited with what I can carry with me. On the other hand, um, or should I say, on the other side of the same coin, I can
Yes.
squeeze lots of shows into a single day because people are living so close together that sometimes I just have to walk 3 blocks, 1 block. I've done shows in the same building uh,
Ooh.
on the same day, like I did a 12 and then a 2 o'clock on another floor of the same apartment building. It was unbelievable. I've done shows in my own apartment building, which means I just took the elevator to the gig, which was really great. So the point is, I can squeeze in a lot of shows because the people are squeezed in Manhattan. But the downside is I can't carry like a backdrop, a sound
Mhm.
system, animal. I can't carry any of the big stuff.
By the way, what's the duration of your Silly Billy show? I mean, is it 30 minutes,
You know,
45?
I'll tell
It
you,
depends.
I used to do an hour before the pandemic. I did an hour, but a lot of that hour is a lot of interaction with the kids. So I cut it down to 45 minutes, and I took
Mhm.
out a lot of these. Not all of the tricks with helpers, but a lot of the tricks with helpers. And so now I'm doing a 45-minute show. But I think in October, if things get better, I'm going to start offering the hour again. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Question is, since you're doing face-to-face parties already, and most of your routines are usually interactive, which means you really get some kids to join you up on the stage, so-called. Uh, what are the health protocol? Are there any health protocols that you're observing? I mean, are you allowed to? I mean, when you're talking to a kid, are you using a mask or
Yeah.
no mask already? Are there
Okay.
any health protocols from
I'll tell you. Um, uh, outside in April, first of all, in April and March, everyone was wearing masks. Now I'm doing outdoor shows, and I rarely have see the kids wearing their masks.
Mm.
So the outdoor birthday parties, which is what I mostly do, there's almost no masking at all. On the other hand, I've done a lot of camps this summer in
Okay.
July, and the camps are held indoors. These are sort of city-based camps, and the camp is held in the same building as the school during the school year. So they use the schools facilities, the gym and the auditorium and the classrooms and so on. So anyway, when I'm doing indoor shows at camps, everyone is masked. The kids are all masked. They let me perform without the mask, but then when I bring a kid up, I put the mask on. So when I have a kid next to me, I'm wearing a mask, he's wearing a mask, but when I send him back to the audience, I can take my mask off. So,
That's good to know.
yeah.
Again, you're watching Let's Talk Magic. It is episode number 26. My guest for today is, of course, Mr. David Kaye or Silly Billy. To my good friend Bong, who is watching, good morning to you. Okay, let's talk about the Silly Billy character. What's
Great.
the story behind Silly Billy? I mean, the character itself. If
Well,
it's okay to ask.
yeah, that's fine. Like all, not all, but like most characters that we perform as, Silly Billy is like me, but an exaggeration of me. I don't have let me see if I have a picture of me anywhere near here. Do you have a picture of Silly Billy on near you?
Wait. The only on I have your book,
Okay,
but no picture.
that's okay. So I wear
A
rainbow
jumpsuit, jump or
pants.
something.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I wear rainbow pants, a red T-shirt, suspenders, a hat, and then the trademark is these the big glasses.
Oversized, yes.
Okay. So I'm sort of a cross between a clown and a magician. I'm not a clown with makeup. I don't wear makeup, but I am a clown character. And I think that's the best way to describe me, you know, and other clown characters are people like Charlie Chaplin and what's his name from John Cleese from Monty Python. What's his name? Peter from England, from Clouseau, from the Pink Panther, Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
All right. So Silly Billy is acts like a sort of like an older brother. So I like to tease the kids. Silly Billy also pretends that he, you know, if I pick up a red silk and I call it blue, am I dumb or am I teasing the children? And the answer for Silly Billy is I'm teasing the children. They know that I know what color it really is, and I'm just playing a game with them. So basically, I'm like an older brother. I care about the kids very much. I speak their language. I use vocabulary words that are very simple. I don't use complicated words that they don't know. But I'm very silly. Lots of physical comedy, lots of verbal comedy. So it's the kids are basically laughing. They laugh from the very beginning to the end of the show. So it's sort of a comedy show using magic as the medium for the comedy. So
Okay. How about the other character, Dr. Blood? Are you still doing it?
yeah, am I still doing it? That's a good question. So I have another character called Dr. Blood, which I haven't done since the beginning of the pandemic because Dr. Blood is like a haunted house for a children's birthday party. I don't decorate the house, but I do scare the kids. Now, there's nothing wrong with scaring the kids. I mean, you could argue that there is or there isn't, but the way I do it, there's nothing wrong, except that during the show, the birthday boy or girl is really involved. Every trick is me chopping off my hand or chopping off the kid's hand, and variations of that. So it's a very physical show. So I haven't started to offer it again yet because there's too. It's just too. It's too engaging. It's too much physical contact. So I'm not doing it yet. But don't dismiss the idea. It's Kids love being scared under safe conditions. All people love being scared under safe conditions. That's why we like haunted houses, and that's why we like roller coasters. We like being scared, but knowing in the back of our head that we're perfectly safe. And that's sort of what happens in the Dr. Blood show.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Before we go to the other video, I'd like to put on this comment from Mr. Sef Apita. Sef, again, good morning and thank you very much for watching. Why the name Silly Billy? Have you ever performed as David Kaye?
You know, I started performing magic for kids as a result of being a street performer, a street magician. And when I was doing magic on the street, I was doing a lot of balloons also. And I actually asked the kids, can you hear me still?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I asked, I don't know, it never occurred to me to be David Kaye because, well, you know what? There's nothing funny about that. It never occurred to me to use my name, mostly because if I thought to myself at the beginning, if I could come up with a really funny name, it would be look, it's like marketing and advertising. Like I was, you name a product, you give a product a name that makes people want to buy it. That's the marketing and the advertising. And that's how I felt about Silly Billy or about my character when I was performing. So I had a list of different funny names that I came up with, and I asked kids in the street when I was street performing, I asked them, which is the funniest name to you? And they told me the answer, and the answer was always Silly Billy of the list that I had. And so, I mean, a lot of the parents think my name is Billy. I don't mind. They call me Billy. They call me Silly Billy. I don't care. Kids, the other interesting thing about the name Silly Billy is it's also a description, because the first word is an adjective and the second is my name. So it's actually describing my show. Silly Billy is a silly person. So there's a lot of really great reasons that Silly Billy works so well. It's also very easy for the kids to remember. That's part of marketing and advertising again. You want people, especially kids, I mean, in our business, we want kids to remember our name. That's really, really important to them going home and saying to their parents, Mommy, I want Silly Billy to come to my birthday party. So it has to be a name that's easy to remember.
Okay, thank you. By the way, while back your video is freezing, I don't know if it's on my side or on your side, but I'm just informing you. Okay, we'll take a rest for a while. We'll have Mr. David Kaye take a rest for a while. But this time we're gonna go show a video. It's a routine with the silk tube routine.
Yeah, let me say one thing quickly about it before we go to it. My philosophy of performing magic for children, for people who don't know, is to have the routines full of interactions. I want the kids to interact with me verbally and physically during the routine as much as possible. Now, this is a trick that when you buy it in the store, the instructions say you put 3 silks in a tube, you blow them out, and they come out of the tube tied together. And that's the routine of the trick. But in my version, you will see that I've added all these opportunities for the children to verbally participate or physically participate in the routine, and you'll see how much laughing that goes on and how much screaming and pointing and interaction goes on during a typical routine of mine. So go ahead and play that.
So guys, watch this. It's Silly Billy's routine. Silk tubes. Here we go.
Who here knows the names of the traffic lights? What are the names of the traffic lights? Who knows the names? What's the names? Red, yellow, and green. That's very good. And I'm holding in my hand 3 handkerchiefs, red, yellow, and green. Okay, and let's see how smart you guys are. You tell me, what does green mean? What does green mean? Tell me. What does green mean? What does green mean? Very good. What does yellow mean? What does yellow mean? What does yellow mean? What does yellow mean? I'm slowing down! Oh, yellow means slow down. So sorry. What does red mean? Huh? Huh? Red means stop. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the 3 handkerchiefs. I'm going to put them in the tube. Then I'm going to blow them out. And they're going to come out all tied together. Okay? So, green. Green goes in. No, they have to go all together. Green. Good. And yellow. Good. And red. Good. So here's what's going to happen. The handkerchief go in the... I'm sorry. Okay. All right, there you go. Now, here's what's going to happen. Sorry. Okay. Now we're good. Stop. All right. Okay, let's try that. Okay, here they come, all tied together. It didn't work. What did we forget? We forgot something. We forgot to say googly googly. We forgot to say the magic words. That's right. All right, let's try it again. Green goes in. Good. Yellow goes in. And red goes in. Okay, now don't forget. This time, don't forget to say the magic words. Here we go. Googly googa. Huh? Oh, very funny. All right. Very funny. Let's do it again. What does green mean? What does green mean? What does yellow mean? Good. And what does red mean? What does red mean? That's staying in. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay, don't forget the magic words. Here we go. Googly googly. Ah! They're all tied together. Yay!
Sorry about that. Well, if you're gonna go follow the instructions, that routine will only be around a minute or so.
Yeah.
With Chili Billy's routine,
Yeah.
it can be 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good. That's how good this guy is, Chili Billy. So once again, a big thank you very much for spending your time with us. Mark, good afternoon. Now it's almost good afternoon here, and I don't know where your picture is not showing. Let me do it one more time. Okay, sorry, my bad. But then, can I try the other guys? Oh wait, I think there's really something wrong with my connection. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about your. Hold on.
Thank you. Wow.
Let's talk about your books this time. First of all, the first book is called Seriously Silly, and this has been very well accepted because it's got a Spanish version.
Yes, it
Am I
does.
correct?
Yeah.
And of course, the second book is of course the biggest one, the bigger one. Well, let me Super Size Silly. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. You even wrote something.
Oh,
here.
wow, that's great. That's
So-
very nice.
So again, thank you very much for that. So let's talk about your books before I know it's really hot on your side now.
That's
So
okay.
let's
That's
really
okay.
fast and quick. Okay, let's talk about your book, Seriously Silly and Super Size Silly. Again, my video is out. I don't know why, but you
That's
can still
okay.
hear me,
I'll
right?
answer. I can answer. I hear you, and I can answer the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let me just. Okay, good. Seriously Silly is like the main book. It's it's got 6 routines in it. But that's not what the book is about. The book is not really about the routines. It's more about theory, about how to perform kids magic in my philosophy, which, as I mentioned, has to do with increasing the interactions per minute uh, within your routines. And the book teaches you how to take any trick that you already do or have and turn it into a routine full of interactions. So
Okay.
that's the first book. That's the main book. I will also say, and as of today, I have about 7 books left, and then it's going to be out of print. So if anyone wants one, buy it now because I have only 7. I'm not making this up. And then I'm going to be out of print, and I don't know what's going to happen with the reprint, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. So okay, so that's the first book. The second book is called Super Size Silly. That's the one you held up. That
Yes.
is a compilation of my columns, my 100 columns from Magic Magazine. And what that means is there are 150 routines in the book, uh, not written by me, but curated by me from 100 different magicians from around the world. So the point of the idea of the column was to teach a principle and then find someone who has a routine that illustrates that principle. So there's 100 lessons in the book. They teach you this principle, and then we use someone else's routine as an example of that principle. And as I say, there's about 150 routines from 106 magicians from all over the world. So that's and the best part of that book is there's an index in the back. So if you have a prop that you want to, let's say not a change bag, that's too easy, but let's say a dove pan, and you want to find a routine for your dove pan, you go to the back and you look in the index, and you will be able to see where there are routines for dove pans in the book. So you can find a routine for a prop that you already own just by looking in the index.
And
So
once
it's
again,
a
yeah,
good
both
book.
books by Silly Billy is also available again at his website, www.sillymagic.com. So once again, the props that you saw, from the inflatable ones to the Princess in a Pickle to the books, again, it's sillymagic.com. You can visit his store or his website after the show. By the way, I have
After the
one
show.
question here coming from Mr. Oni Carcamo. Good morning, Oni, and thank you very much for watching. Do you always have educational content?
I never have educational content.
Okay.
This is just something I do mostly birthday parties. The video we played was shot in a school, but I don't do school shows per se. I don't do library shows per se. I will do shows in a library, but I don't have a
Mhm.
library show that's about reading. I don't have a school show that's about teaching information. My shows are just funny shows, and I try. I not try. I have no. I don't make any attempt to teach anything of, of importance during my show. It's just a fun. It's just a fun show.
Okay. My next question is, have you ever encountered hecklers? And just in case, how do you handle hecklers? I mean, let's say
Well,
maybe not hecklers, but maybe kids who are really
of
hard
course.
to.
Yes,
Go
yes,
ahead.
yes. Every kids show magician has dealt
Worst
with
nightmare.
difficult children. Okay, so there's a host of ways of dealing with troubled kids. In fact, there's a big section about it in the first book, Seriously Silly.
Okay.
Well, to try to make it as short and valuable as I can. What I would do if you have a kid that's shouting stuff out, and we all do. Sometimes they shout out that they know the secret, even if they don't. Sometimes they shout out a method. It might be wrong, but other kids might agree with that child and think that, oh, that is the way he's doing the trick. And what you need to do is you need to recognize the kid. I should say, acknowledge the child. And I would even engage the child in a slight, as short as possible conversation. The biggest mistake you could make with a kid who's yelling stuff out during your show is to ignore it and to hope he stops, because that kind of child never stops. So that's a really important lesson. The lesson is acknowledge the kid, engage him. You could say, even if he says, I know how that trick is done, then you could say, that is great. Or you could say, or if he yells, it's done with magnets, you could say, well, it's not magnets, but that's a good guess. But definitely acknowledge the child, have a very short conversation, and then the child will feel recognized, will feel acknowledged, will feel appreciated. He knows that he has received your attention. He's called attention to himself. He wants to call attention to himself. He got the attention he wanted, and now it's over. So that would be my advice with a heckling kid. It would be to acknowledge him and then move on. That's
a very good advice coming from well-established teacher performer again, AKA Billy. Okay, going back to the first video that I showed a while back, your volunteer was named Alexa, right?
Yes.
Every time I get a chance, that the girl's name is Alexa, I always ask her, Alexa, can I ask you a question? And he says yes. Alexa, what's the time now? I always do that. Or how's the weather today? And how come my feed is going nowhere? Again, Mr. David Kaye, I'm very, very sorry this is happening during...
That's okay. I don't mind.
The thing is, I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
I also be professional when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I'm beginning to turn into the Hulk. Come on, man. Okay, again, I am back. Hopefully. Okay. One question coming from Mr. Frank Douglas. Have you ever done a strictly grown-up adult show?
I'm working on. The answer is no. Okay. I'm a big fan I'm a big magic fan, and I love all kinds of magic. I go to magic conventions all the time, and I love watching magic for adults. I'm working on an adult act now. My problem is that I'm used to creating my own material when it comes to my kids show, and I feel bad buying full-out routines. It's my own problem. It has nothing to do with anything, except that I want to create my own routines for an adult show, but I don't have the skills to create my own routines for an adult show. So I'm buying routines, and I'm trying very hard to make them my own and personalize them. But I am working on an act for adults. But I haven't done. I've done, for friends parties. I've done a few things here and there, but I've never been paid. Never been paid to perform magic for adults.
Okay, going back to your advice a while back regarding heckling, that's a great advice. Comes from Mr. Sefapita. And I have another question here coming from, again, Frank Douglas. Frank, sorry, actually, it's not a comment. It's not a question. When I do my
Okay.
pre-show, I tell the kids if they know how a trick is done, please don't tell me because I already know it. Something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to.
Uh,
That's a good advice.
there's one. I should be asking you another question, but it's just slipped my mind. But I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Oh, you
Uh,
got it.
any upcoming CDB products that we should be watching out for in a few months' time, or maybe any products in development as of the moment?
Yeah, I have one new trick that is I'm performing in the prototype phases.
Okay.
That is to say, I have the trick. It's great. I love it. Um, I'm performing it at my shows. Once I've done it, I don't know, 100 times or so, I'll send it to the factory. We'll make a prototype at the factory. Then I'll perform that a few dozen times, and then we'll manufacture it. So it's a long way off. I have a great new trick. It's really, really, really funny. Um,
Any hint?
yeah, I'll tell you. Uh, I have a picture. I tear it up. It's a torn and restored picture, but it's got a great twist ending. But it's basically a torn and restored picture that I keep tearing and restoring, and it keeps not being properly restored. And then there's a really cool kicker ending. So look for that, but probably 6 months or about there from now.
So once again, guys, if you guys are into Kid Show
Mm.
Magic and a fan of Silly Billy, don't forget all his products is also available again at his website. Again, www.sillymagic.com. Hi, hi,
At least
hi.
that's staying on the screen. So that's really the
Yeah,
most
that's
important
what's important, of course.
thing.
Not
Yes,
my
that's
face. Not my
not your face.
face.
My website. That's
Yeah,
right.
again, guys, don't forget, I've been a fan of the silly inflatable magic ones for the longest time. Too bad it's pandemic, we cannot use them as of the moment. But in your case, if you're somewhere in the US or somewhere around the world, you can buy it and again use it for your show or during your shows. And again, I am back for the nth time. I don't know. I think I should be getting a brand new computer. I don't know.
It's not the
It's already
computer. I'm.
maybe it's
I'm
me.
no.
The problem maybe is it's my face. I don't know. Okay, a couple of more questions to go.
Okay.
Uh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh wait, I think I have one question coming from Sefapita. Yeah, I think Marcos. I think Philippine. Welcome to Philippine internet. La, la, la.
He might be right about that.
Most foreigners say welcome to the Philippine internet something. But anyway, I'm paying good money and yet I'm still never mind. Okay. Would you do a silly Billy character on an adult show or a different character? Although you've addressed the question about performing for adults.
Um, I have. It's funny. I have done a handful of
Oh.
my kid show for adult audiences. People have hired me for 30th birthdays or 40th birthdays or 10th wedding anniversary parties to do my kid show for the adults. And the idea was that the adults would pretend to be kids. And
Mm.
what's really what's first of all, it's a lot of fun. But second of all, when I do my show for adults, uh, it turns out there's a lot of uh, dirty jokes in my show that are only dirty if you hear them through adult ears. That is to say,
Okay.
it's there's a lot of funny things that are really fine at my kids show, but when you do them for adults, they have a second meaning. So that's very fun. It turns out to be a lot of fun, but I've only done that a handful of times. Um, but for adult shows, I wouldn't be doing Silly Billy. It would be David Kaye.
Well, in my case, sometimes I get booked for corporate gigs or maybe adult shows parties as well. before I accept the party, I always say them that the Chubster character will always be there, the funny type character. So I don't want to be, let's say, if it's gonna be a serious event, I'll be. It's up to you if you want to accept me to do the
Right,
job, but I still have my own character. It's me. I cannot adapt to a simple. I'm a happy guy when it comes to show. I'm a funny guy. I can't just do a serious type and yet not. You know, the image is always there. I can't
right,
do adult
right.
parties that are really serious.
No,
I've
I
hosted.
would. No, my adult show is a funny show. I'm writing jokes for the script, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you into virtual parties as well? Are you doing virtual shows or
I did them
gigs?
last year. I did them. The last one was in February, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I did them from from about April of 2020 till about February of 2021. Yeah, they weren't they. It took a while to get good at it. I'll say that for sure. Took a long time to get good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. And lastly, before I let you go again, I would like to thank you for spending your sharing your time with us. Again, I know it's hot on your end as of the moment. Thank you very much for doing this. One last question, and it's not a question. Any tips on upcoming magicians? I mean, who want to venture into our, well, because there are magicians who want to venture into close up, into stage. Those any tips for who wants to go
oh,
into our branch, which is Kid Show Magic?
tips. Get my book. And if you don't even get the book, get my DVD because the DVD, no, the first one, that's
And
okay. Get that book as well, but get the Seriously Silly book
silly book.
or the Seriously Silly DVD, and you'll learn all like everything you need to do. The most important thing is to have is to have fun. The thing is, the thing that the book and DVD teach is that you have to think differently. If you already are a magician, let's say you do close up, you have to change how you think about magic when it comes to kids magic, because in kids magic, the effect is not as important as all the fun interactions that happen before the climax of the trick.
Yes.
And this is why it's hard to do kids magic, and this is why when an adult magician tries to do a kid show has a very hard time, because adult magic, we're focused on the effect, the amazing ending, but kids don't care about the effect because everything in a child's life is magic. So that the fact that you can do something amazing is really not that amazing if you're a kid, because the whole world is amazing to a kid.
Mm.
So as a kids magician, we need to focus on having a good time, making the kids laugh, interacting with the kids, getting them to scream and point and laugh and have a good time. So that's what I would say.
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to acknowledge again my friend who's watching all the way from Singapore, Mr. Buggles. Again, thank you very much. To
Oh, I
Bernard
know
Mariano.
Mr. Bottles.
Yeah, of course. Bernard Mariano, who's watching all the way from Hong Kong. To Frank Douglas, who's watching all the way from the US. Too bad some of my viewers from UK won't be able to join us because I think the time is different from their
Yeah,
side.
it's the middle of the night for
But
them. Exactly.
again, for those who tuned in, thank you very much. Now, next week, let me just do this fast and quick. My guest for next week is none other than Mr. J. Scott Berry, the modern day Merlin and Renaissance man. J. Scott Berry. Episode will be on August 21st at 10 p.m. Manila time. So once again, please don't forget it's J. Scott Berry next week. And again, thank you very much for the advice that's coming from Tony Abellion. Again, Tony, thank you very much for watching. So, Mr. David Kaye, any final thoughts, any final shout outs that you want to do before I
Um,
let you go?
my final advice would be the advice I just gave. I think that's really good advice. So think about that. And I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of this. I've known you for years and years and years, and it's great to be on your show. And thank you for having me be a part of it. And we have to meet each other. Are you going to FISM next year?
Nah, I cannot. I don't want to travel yet. But you know what? You were at FISM Korea, and I was supposed to go there.
I was at FISM Korea.
But the thing is, some of my shows during that time are booked way in advance. So when I found out the date, already have bookings during that date, and I can't really, since I have down payments already, I really can't give them other performers.
I understand. All right. Well, we'll see. I hope I see you at a magic convention sometime soon.
Yes, and maybe once that thing is over, maybe we can. If you're gonna go do a lecture tour somewhere in Asia, be sure to drop by Manila. Maybe I know you've been in Hong Kong and some other countries already.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I haven't been to Singapore yet.
Mr. Battles, Mr. Battles.
Yeah, he can do it. I've been to the Philippines, but for a vacation.
What? When? Where? When was that? Long time ago?
Yes. Since we've been talking, I'm trying to remember the name of the place. I think it's something like Cedo. It's a 4-letter word.
Cebu.
Cebu, yes, Cebu.
You've been to Cebu. Wow.
Yes,
what was this one?
I had a girlfriend from Hong Kong, and one year we went to Cebu together. It was really amazing.
During the 90s? During the 90s or the 20s already?
No, I think it was the 20s already, but it wasn't yesterday. It was oh God, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe.
Oh, wow. Had I known you were in Cebu, I'll go to Cebu.
Thank you. It was a long time ago.
Mr. Battles says, I'll organize something. You know what, Mr. Battles?
Thank you, Mr. Battle.
Let's try to see what we can do. So
thank you.
Manila and Manila. Oh, wait. How about this one? Virtual lecture. Are you willing to go to that kind of a field?
You know what? I would do that. I think I would do that. Yeah, it might prevent me from doing a live in person lecture, but yeah, I'll think about that. Mr. Bottle, contact me.
You know what? We'll both contact you regarding that one. So maybe we can try to figure out something. Now, try to see what you can do about that. And once you have something in mind, we'll get in touch with you.
Okay.
And
good. So thank you for having me,
Chubster. Thank you very much for dropping by again, Mr. Battles. So again, Mr. David Kaye, it's a very huge honor on my end to really have you as one of my special guests. You know, I am really into kid show magic, and you're one of the guys that I look up to as of now. Now. So again, in Tagalog, we say maraming salamat po. I don't know if you understand that, but just thank you very much.
Wow.
So
that's beautiful.
Again, thank you very much. And I know it's already 12:30 a.m. in the US, but I know that you also sleep late.
Yes, except tomorrow I have an early show. I'm waking up very soon to get to this show tomorrow morning. Yeah.
So I really have to let you go already. So once again, guys.
Okay.
Again, a virtual round of applause for the one and only Silly Billy, Mr. David Kaye. Again,
for watching.
Thank you very much for joining me on Let's Talk Magic. Thank you, David.
Okay, thanks.
Don't forget to visit this website, www.sillymagic.com, for the latest news, products, and of course, the books. It's also available in sillymagic.com. Like we mentioned, only a few copies of his books already. So go get them while it's hot. Again, sillymagic.com. David Kaye, Mr. Silly, thank you very much for joining me.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so once again, there you have it. It's Silly Billy, our episode number 26. Thank you very much for joining us for today's episode. Again, I will have to apologize. I need to apologize not only to my guests because I'm having problem with my camera a while back, but also to you guys who are watching because of my connections. If you notice, I'm either freezing or lagging a bit. A while back, during the earlier part of the episodes, I'm having a signal over here that I'm having problems with the internet connection. So again, I'm very, very sorry. Please join us next week. Medyo I'll be a bit makulit. My guest next week is Mr. J. Scott Berry, the modern day Merlin and Renaissance man. August 21st, 10 p.m., J. Scott Berry. So please, thank you very much and join us next week. So once again, my name is Chubster. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun. Well, I had fun interviewing one of the guys that I look up to when it comes to kids entertainment, Silly Bitty. So this is Chubster saying thank you very much. Stay safe, stay energized, stay sanitized. Don't forget to wear your face mask and face shield. Good afternoon and see you next week. Let's talk magic.